Hi, my name is Misty and welcome to my older adult video presentation. I will attach the link for my video as soon as I am completed recording, and I hope you enjoy. My interviewee is a current client that I have been working with for a year and a half. She attends a support group that I facilitate and provide one-on-one service to. Because we have a good rapport and professional relationship, it was easy to complete this interview in a natural way. We discussed life experiences and significant events and how they relate to her development. She focused the discussion on events that had taken place from the age of 18 to 40, which according to Erikson is developmental stage 6, intimacy versus isolation. This is a period of time that she identified as being the most traumatic for her. The developmental task of this stage is for young adults to seek and form intimate and close loving relationships. The central conflict in this developmental stage centers on forming intimate and close relationships with other people. If one cannot do this, they are at risk of isolation. I want to point out that during this period, she experienced introductory trauma systemic from her early relationship with her spouse that started when they were dating and escalated throughout the entirety of the relationship and marriage, which ended in 1992. Her relationship changed the whole trajectory of her life and made her question herself, the decisions she made, and the relationships she formed. Within this stage, she stated she did not develop a healthy and loving relationship, but rather isolated due to relationship being unhealthy, abusive, and controlling. In the framework of Erikson's psychosocial development, my client has achieved the previous stage, which allowed her to establish her sense of culture, her sense of identity. She identifies as a strong Italian female that adhered to her parents' cultural norms and expectations. Her parents immigrated to the United States in 1954 from Sicily, and they had a strong connection to the cultural norms of a 1954 Sicily. This is really important. She was raised strict Italian and Catholic, and her parents expected her to stay within the confines of cultural and religious norms, which were vastly different in the United States during the time that she would have been 18 to 40. I wanted to identify a timeline of relevant facts that are significant events that impacted her stage 6 development, and I'll briefly review them. She was born July 1st, 1955 in Queens, New York, and raised in an all-Italian neighborhood. In 1973, she graduated from Newtown High School. In 1975, she started working in the meatpacking industry and met her future spouse. This is where she was starting to form relationships outside of the family and explore the world around her. In 1978, she started cohabitating with him, and July 1st, 1980, they gave birth to their daughter. October 11th, 1982, they decided to get married out of duty and responsibility versus a love union. January 2nd, 1988, she gave birth to her son. And really significant period of time was 1992 because of some significant events. She left the abusive marriage and became homeless. In 1993, she moved to Pennsylvania and was able to get stable housing and a job. Some of the challenges that she faced within the time frame are systemic from her marriage and the attempt to form a loving, intimate relationship with him. While she stated that she did love him, she wasn't, I guess what she would say in her words was a soul type of love that was very connected and binding. During her marriage, she experienced what is called introductory trauma in the form of domestic violence, and she said that it came in the form of physical, sexual, and financial abuse. She experienced severe abuse throughout the duration of her relationship, and informing the abuse gradually increased after the birth of her daughter. Her husband was primarily an alcoholic, but he would really use any substances that was available to him. The turning point in her relationship was when he started to abuse her children, primarily their daughter. She stated that one afternoon when he was under the influence of substances, he physically assaulted their daughter and really hurt her. She stated that later in the evening when he was passed out, she decided to leave him, and all she left with was the clothes on her back, her 2 children, and she really never looked back, and that is a direct quote. She would couch surf and stay at shelters until she connected with a friend that lived in Pennsylvania. And this was about a year she was really couch surfing. I want to highlight that she faced adversity from her family, as they were really traditional Italian Catholics, and they did not believe in divorce at all. This was just a mortal sin, and she was ostracized from the family because she broke free from cultural religious beliefs and expectations. She stated that she was scared to leave because everything she thought she knew about love and life was wrong. She was really questioning herself during this period of time. Some accomplishments are she identified the relationship as unhealthy, and she took back the power and control, and she just left. She would use community resources through the encouragement of her support system, which consisted of close friends that she developed these relationships with in high school. So during adolescence, she was able to reconnect to them once she left her abusive relationship, but it took a while. She was able to establish a safe and stable home environment for her children in Pennsylvania a year later. So she really had a lot of support to make that happen as well. Another accomplishment is that during this time, she was able to keep her children with her without them being placed in foster care. And she continued to remain employed and was able to save money to move. The crisis within the stage 6 was domestic violence, which was the introductory trauma. This disrupted her development within this stage and caused her isolation due to her unhealthy relationships, which led her to questioning all her relationships in her life. So within this developmental stage, she struggled to develop a healthy relationship. And this resulted in her developing isolation. The abuse she endured started 2 months after she met him until she decided to leave him. She advised me that this behavior was something she witnessed in her nuclear family. So this was a norm within her family, like this type of behavior. She believed that to be a good wife, she had to be obedient and respectful towards her husband. She felt like she did not have many choices because of her cultural and religious beliefs. She did not want to challenge her upbringing. She struggled in all aspects of her life and started to isolate from people. And he also isolated her from people as well due to the power and control he had over her. And her motivation to isolate was just the shame she felt. This is where the decompensation of her mental health started, and she started experiencing symptoms of depression and anxiety. So she was really questioning her self-worth, her value, and the quality of the relationships, because she just was at a loss and didn't know how to manage herself during this time. And I'm going to end the video for now, and I will be back shortly.